I want to share a little bit about what am I creating in my 60s. And I'm going to start by, I'm going to turn this around so you can see. I've got my 60th birthday cup ready to go, and it is full of Nature's Diamonds, the tea blend that I created for myself to be able to really celebrate tea, celebrate life and opportunities. So I'm going to have just a sip. And for many of you who followed my podcast, you know that I always set an intention. So my intention with this little video is to share with you vision mapping, looking at how you want to move forward. What is it going to look like? And as I look at the next decade and the possibilities that are there, I know there's things I can't even imagine yet, which is exciting. But there are some things that I really want to highlight. And one of the best things I think that came from a conversation I had with my parents as we were talking about the Wine Country Tai Chi Society and its focus for this year, so being 2026, was looking at what would it take to be a blue zone. So in West Kelowna, BC, what would be required for the people living there to be able to create longevity? And excuse me, what does that blue zone look like there? And then looking at it through the lens of Tai Chi Cape Breton, what does it look like to live on Cape Breton Island and look at it as a blue zone? And this has been a really interesting way to frame things this year as I'm moving out of the 50s and into the 60s. What do I want my blue zone to look like? How do I want to be living as I'm aging into these next decades? And what is it going to mean? So I'm going to ask you to think about, how have you thought about moving forward on that trajectory? How have you thought about transitions that you'll be making in the next few years? And what is that going to look like? So as I'm looking at the 60s, I'm thinking about, I don't want to really wind down, which is what some people might say. I want to look at refining. I want to look at what's my strengths. How has wisdom come into things? How have some things become clearer? Maybe there's a deeper purpose to some of the activities that I'll be involved in. And then choosing my vitality intentionally. And I do that every day. And for people that know me, I use my bioenergetic wellness formula. That's season 5, episode 1, if you want to go to the podcast. But using that formula, which came out of my dissertation work and discovering in the Touch for Health work, there are several key things that we do that brings energetic flow to where we want to go. But if you don't set your compass, you can go in circles, you can go nowhere, you can stay on the spot, but you just won't ever get to that goal that you have. And so I wanted to bring to the forefront that that's how I'm thinking about this next decade. I'm looking at some of these things that are going to provide a deeper sense of purpose. I'll be looking at what matters the most. And so I'd like you to think about, what are you going to say yes to? What will I be saying yes to? What am I going to say no to? I don't say no very often, so this is a tough one for me. What do I want to learn? And where do I want to travel? Now, I moved to where I wanted to travel to, so it doesn't matter to me too much if I leave Cape Breton Island because I love it here. And I don't mind going to Halifax to visit the kids and my grandson because I love Halifax as well. Nova Scotia is so beautiful. Is there anywhere else in the world that I still need to travel or want to travel? So that'll be something that I'm going to look at. Usually it has to do with an opportunity and a collaboration. So it won't be because I need to travel to a certain country. It's going to mean I want to meet with certain people and have some kind of experience. And the other is, what impact am I going to want to create? So in this next decade, what is that looking like? And something that I wanted to bring forward is, in the presentations I did just in this last month, I did 2 presentations, one for the Touch for Health US organization and one for Nolative. Anolative was looking at stress and how we could master stress. And across the 3 days of presentations, that everybody's presentations was building towards looking at stress with a different lens. And I have that insight that I want to expand on in the next decade, but I also have the insight of my collaboration with Denise Cambiotti in making a movement mastery program. This is a dream come true. We have recorded the most incredible videos about movement and looking at it through a really different lens. And when we did that, we discovered that functional movements that are used to assess how aging people are doing, or sports enthusiasts usually who've had an injury, that if we look at it through an integrative lens, integrative movement patterns, which help us to realize we're not integrated, we're not working in a coordinated fashion, and how quickly we can become integrated by using those tools. That was an incredible insight that Nolative provided me when I said I will do a presentation and I will look at stress. And I'll look at stress and how it can develop. And then Denise and I, as we were recording those videos and bringing together the topics and the assignments that are going to go into the program, that realization was we might be looking through the wrong lens when we're looking at aging, movement, and functionality and recovery. And that's where I want to go in this next decade, is I want to take those inklings of that first information and really dive deep into it. Because if we could change how we're viewing things, can you imagine how people could recover, how they could have strength and vitality in ways they never imagined? And what would the blue zone look like if we were aging up instead of aging down? So in my 60s, that is my impetus for the next place to go. And for those people out there who are watching this video, perhaps I need to travel to you to have an exchange in some way, but maybe you need to come to me and have an exchange on Cape Breton Island. The retreat that I put in for August is part of my birthday celebrations, but it's also a way for me to collaborate with people who have insights in education and to bring it to the nature on Cape Breton Island and to nurture it with neuroarts, because I know that's a way we need to be traveling. So I'm sure you didn't imagine that's what I would be saying as I'm looking forward to the future of this next decade. But for those of us going into our 60s and 70s and 80s, what is the legacy we're going to leave behind? What is it that is going to resonate deeply with you because of what I've said or what I've done or what I've tried to do or the way I've interacted with you? This is something I want to bring forward. So this can impact what I'll be teaching in the programs moving forward. We had music and movement, 2 series that we did, and then we had the Symphony of Radiance. And now you know that what's going to be happening in the fall of 2026 is going to be off of that retreat in August. It's going to be amazing, the collaborations coming off of that. There's the self-care tools that you'll continue to see me unfold, whether it's on my YouTube channel, whether it's through Greenwell and some of the programming in Greenwell, our World Mental Health Day. There's so many opportunities for you to be able to learn and grow from some of the things I've been sharing. We have some new books that are just in the final stages of production that you're going to see launched. And those have some incredible ways of looking at life through a different lens. And I've even written some fables. I've never done that before, but it was a lot of fun. And working with Marian Egan on that, as well as Tanya Levy, Paula McLeod, Donna Hutchison, and Brenda Cox, doing a neuro arts approach. It's been really cool. We've got tea rituals. I am so in awe of the recipes, the different ways of looking at tea, working with the herbs, playing with the intentions, bringing that bioenergetic wellness formula through tea has been really exciting. And in this next decade, as the tea is becoming known across Cape Breton Island and onto the mainland, I look forward to how it ripples from there. And I have teas that go across the country that are sponsoring and supporting fundraising for special families. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud that the Moyo family, with all their struggles in Malawi, and the famine that is there and the disease they struggle with, which is eradicated here, to be able to have a tea that highlights them and the money goes back to them, that has been a really big part of my legacy building and being able to give back. So that's the Mission for Change Community Tea. And if you like some of that, you can find that in the shop, capebretontea.ca. The podcast conversations are continuing to deepen and educate. And I'm really looking forward to what that means in empowering people, but also for them to find Touch for Health, get educated, find Brain Gym, find Therapeutic Touch, ways in which they can be engaging, very simple tools for health and wellness and creating that blue zone, that long-term piece. As we go into where we're going to be going, I just would invite you, if you've been waiting for the right time, this is it. This is it. And as I cross that threshold from 59 tomorrow into 60, one more day, then I'm really looking forward to what my dreams can create and where I can go. So to finish off, what dreams might you be holding on to and might have postponed? How can you move them forward? How long can you make your birthday last for? And how can you inspire that next decade ahead of you to bring forward some incredible things that can be your legacy? So Nature's Diamond reminds me that the most brilliant chapters are still forming. And as I sip on my tea, I invite you to sip on your tea and think about what might Nature's Diamond show you in your chapters ahead. Cheers. All the best, and thank you for listening on my birthday. It's been a pleasure to be here and to share, and I look forward to where we collaborate together. Take care.